Very welcome to this new little video of mine. And before we get into the discussion, I want to show you a little clip I made about this Ukraine-Russia conflict. Hey, what are you doing here? That's my property. What? I do nothing. I come in peace. I don't want anything from you. But why did you bring a weapon? Oh, you mean this one? No, that's just for self-defense. I would never do any harm to you. Were you not the guy who stole some property? I think like a whole peninsula from me? That's no biggie. Come on, let's not split hair on it. So please leave my property. Well, technically, that's mine now here. And what's your friends doing there? On the other side, on the gate? Oh, you mean those guys? No, they're just practicing. There's nothing to worry about. I'm gonna call my friends. Please help me. Come here. Come over here. Me? Really? I can't help you. I'm only doing with words. Despite this guy is really good. I make some business deals with him. He's no harm to anyone. I can't help you with weapon. Can't defend you. But now you have seen that little clip which I made and how it kind of represents how I see this conflict. It looks a bit like kindergarten, and it's just like what are those governments are doing? Like, it's crazy. So I want to get a little bit into it, and of course also want to talk about it from a more of a Christian perspective and what I've been thinking about it and all this kind of stuff. So one of the things I realized as I'm living outside of Germany now for a while, and I noticed that before when I was living in England, is that when you live outside your home country, you always are a bit concerned how your country appears. So like now at the moment, like from the outside, Germany looks very weak. Like, what are we doing? Everyone sends like weapon and we are sending helmets. But like what I want to say with this is like I have seen that as well. Like when there was the Scottish vote for independence, most of the Scots I knew who were living in England would want that Scotland gets independent and strong and all this kind of stuff again. So that's a funny effect, and I haven't done no research on it, but maybe there's some research done already, like this kind of effect, like your nationality becomes more important for your identity when you live in a foreign country. I guess it seems to be quite logical for me, but I don't know much about it, but this is how I feel. But then I've been continuous thinking, and one of the things I realized that is so selfish. Like, I see this conflict between two nations, and the first thing I do is I think about myself. Like, literally, like, oh, there's gonna be a war. What is my country doing? What is it? What light does it shine on me? Is that really like what we want? I mean, it shows how we as people are, but it's like, it's so tragic that there's the possibility of war again in Europe. And it seems to be, if there is a war, it's gonna be a big war. Not that a small war is, less evil, less bad, but now it seems to be like we're heading into a new Cold War. And that's, of course, it's not the only war, but it is a war which really, or the possibility of a war, please, which goes really close to Western nations. So, and that's, of course, coming from a Western nation, of course, that's closer to my heart. But we mustn't forget there's lots of conflicts in most of the continents of this world. So, like there's war. Like this rings closer to home in a way, you know. You know what I mean, I hope. So, and that's quite, but I've been thinking that's quite sad. Like, the first thing I think is when it comes to a possible war in Europe, he's not thinking about me instead of the people who will suffer or suffer already because of, you know, that tension. And of course, there's no real winners of a war. Most of the people will suffer, and it is just a really tragic event, and we should try to avoid it with well, maybe not any means, but most of the means. So that's the kind of stuff, and we should try to avoid the loss of life and prevent that. Avoid is maybe, you know, we cannot avoid death. Death comes for everyone, but we can prevent death through violence. And it's very tragic, and war shows us how bad this world really is. And for us as like maybe Western nations, it comes to a surprise. I mean, we were totally surprised from a virus that this disease can have so much impact with all the stuff we have already invented. And I think it comes also to a surprise that this is possible that there's a war again. Of course, the last few generations, like mine and my parents' generation, have not experienced war in that sense. Maybe they've been a soldier in war, but they're not been a war in Europe or North America, which is probably most of you are watching, and that's it's quite a tough thing, because we sort of push that away, I think. But of course, bad things often come so natural, and if, you know, people in power struggle, or people in power, of course, are humans, and they display that. And like Alyssa and me, my wife and me, we're studying some of the Bible. We are right now in 1 Corinthians, and there's a really interesting verse which reminds us on that we need lots of wisdom. And I'm gonna just read that to you. And there's two types of wisdom: worldly wisdom, and there is wisdom which we need to get revealed. And there in chapter 2, in the first letter to the Corinthians, that's a book in the Bible, and quite far back in the Bible, and there it's written in chapter 2 verse 6, or from verse 6, "Yet among the mature we do impart wisdom, although it is not a wisdom of this age or of rulers of this age who are doomed to pass away, but we impart a secret and hidden wisdom of God, which God decreed before the ages for our glory. None of the rulers of this age understood this, for if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory." And what does it show us? Well, it shows us a few things. There's wisdom, which we can work for and gain because it's from humans. But there's wisdom which is imparted from God on us. And one of the striking things is what it shows: the rulers and the wisdom of this world will pass away, but there's more important things to know, and the rulers have not noticed that. They have not noticed that in the past, and we can pray for our rulers in this world right now that they may know this wisdom. And this wisdom is about Jesus being crucified for us. That's really important. And what can we do as Christians? We are not political actors, most of us. So what can we do? We can pray. So on the one hand, we can pray for the rulers of this world, NATO, Putin, all those people, and so that they see the mercy of God, the grace of God, and refrain from war and aggressive action. And there's also, we can pray for the Christians and the people who live there. For the Christians, that they not use the pulpit to the church as a base to make politics, but to proclaim Jesus and to help people. And for the people then, of course, who are in dire need of, maybe desperate and afraid, to find Jesus where there's eternal hope beyond death, which gives already so much motivation in this life to strive for a better world. And I think, if Jesus really transforms your heart, it will transform the world around you. And there's much bad things happened in the name of Christianity, but if true Christianity is lived, what we get shown in the Bible, then it will change our attitudes. We will see our neighbor, no matter what nation, nationality, race, or whatever, very different, as loved from God, created from God. And that's so powerful. And we can really pray that this is the base of people acting in this conflict, and we can pray for peace there as well. So that was it. I didn't want to make like a sermon out of it, but this is the kind. I've been thinking about it. I made that recording a long time, or a week ago, and I've been thinking, should I upload it on which channel? If you're interested to know more about us, my wife and me, we have a vlog which you can see here, I think, in this little playlist, and you can check out this channel which we have, where we share our lives as we live in the Philippines. So please check that out, and see you maybe over there in the next video.